By the time the Beatles officially disbanded in 1970, the relationships among the band members had significantly declined, especially the friendship between John Lennon and Paul McCartney, which had become particularly strained. A major point of conflict was their disagreement over who should manage the band's business affairs. Lennon strongly advocated for Allen Klein to take on the role, a choice that George Harrison and Ringo Starr also supported. McCartney, however, favored Lee Eastman, his father-in-law, as a more suitable candidate. This disagreement ignited a very public and bitter falling out between Lennon and McCartney, marked by accusations and pointed lyrics in their solo music. Despite the animosity, the deep bond they once shared never fully disappeared. Even at the height of their feud, they refused to tolerate anyone speaking ill of the other in their presence. After the rest of the group signed with Klein, McCartney found himself in a difficult position. In order to legally distance himself from Klein and dissolve the band's business partnership, he made the decision to take legal action against his former bandmates. This move, which McCartney has openly admitted, contributed to the escalation of tensions, was, in his view, something that had to be done, despite the personal cost. Once Lennon relocated away from England, the two stopped seeing each other for a time, though they continued to think and speak about one another. Although their songwriting partnership had ended with the group, aside from one exception, Give Peace a Chance, they remained artistically intertwined, often channeling their emotions into songs that served as indirect commentary or criticism of one another. This led some people around them to believe they could win favor by criticizing the other, though this approach quickly backfired. Alice Cooper, a friend of Lennon's in the 1970s, recalled that during their time as part of the informal Hollywood Vampires drinking club, Lennon reacted strongly if anyone insulted McCartney. According to Cooper, Lennon viewed Paul as his best friend and wouldn't hesitate to get physical if someone spoke against him. McCartney reacted in a different but equally firm way. Rather than responding with aggression, he would simply leave the room if someone said anything negative about Lennon. George Harrison, too, despite having his own issues with McCartney at the time, didn't appreciate others speaking poorly about him. While Harrison took part in Lennon's scathing track, How Do You Sleep, and made his own criticisms, he still maintained a deep respect for McCartney. Session drummer Jim Keltner, who worked with both Lennon and Harrison in the early 70s, noted that the two would often make biting remarks about Paul in private, but wouldn't stand for it if others did the same. The progression of Lennon and McCartney's feud can be followed through their early solo releases. Lennon's track God, from his debut solo album Plastic Ono Band, declared his disbelief in the Beatles and suggested that the dream was over. McCartney later admitted in his podcast McCartney, A Life in Lyrics, that those lines wounded him. In retaliation, he responded with the song Too Many People from his album Ram, where he accused Lennon of squandering his good fortune. Lennon answered back with even more intensity in How Do You Sleep, a song filled with personal attacks, where he belittled McCartney's music, dismissed Yesterday as his only real achievement, and even referenced the Paul is dead conspiracy as a jab. Lennon later admitted he went too far, while McCartney confessed that it had been deeply painful. Eventually, it was McCartney who made the first attempt to reconcile. On Wildlife, the debut album by Paul McCartney and Wings, he included a track called Dear Friend, a tender and introspective piece where he questioned whether their friendship was truly beyond saving. Though McCartney said they never directly discussed the song, their relationship gradually began to heal. By the time Lennon was tragically killed in 1980, the two had rekindled their friendship and were even entertaining the idea of reuniting. Their feud, while intense and hurtful, was rooted in deep emotional ties, and in the end, love and respect prevailed. It's reassuring to know they found peace with each other before it was too late.